And welcome back, and thank you so much for continuing to hang out with us here on the May We Help You radio show. As you know, this is our special. We are bringing you some great women today who just make an impact on women's history, since this is Women's History Month. And so one of our wonderful guests that I told you about a little bit earlier, Jon'll Boyd. Oh, what an amazing woman. She is the owner of Completely Yours Events. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Jon'll before we bring her on. First, she has had 10 years experience in sales and marketing. So planning these elaborate events and functions for major corporations was something that she's been doing for quite some time. Speaking of that, she's also known as the event boss. Absolutely. You just got to be the boss in your business, be the boss in your industry, and she is doing just that. In addition to planning and teaching, she also has become the go-to event expert at numerous speaking engagements for corporate groups, organizations, and event industry professionals. So we definitely want you to learn a little bit more about Completely Yours wedding and event planning. So go to CompletelyYoursEvents.com. But without further ado, I want to bring Jon'll on so we can talk a little bit about her and you can learn from her today. Hi, Jon'll. How's it going today?
Hi, Latisha. Thank you so much for having me on the show today. How are you?
Absolutely, I am doing very well. We got a little bit of snow. We can't help it. This is the winter that won't go away, right?
Exactly. I keep saying to my team, one day we're going to wake up and it's going to be spring, I promise. So they just keep laughing at me because I'm like, okay, we've got 65-degree weather one day and then the next day we've got snow. Makes no sense.
None at all. I was so tempted the other day to turn my AC on because my upper rooms where my office is was so warm that it was just so tempting, and I'm glad I didn't because I would have froze to death the very next day. So, like you said,
exactly.
But, Jon'll, I know that you are out of Maryland, but you do work in different areas. It's Completely Yours Events is not just grounded in that one area. But tell us a little bit of how you got into this industry.
Absolutely. Actually, let me just take you back to when I was doing corporate planning for a large corporation at the time, and that's where I really got my background started in the world of event planning. I was doing large-scale events like galas and fundraisers, conferences, and I had worked for that company for about 5 years. It was a little bit over 5 years, and had moved several times because I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and so I had moved to Florida with that same company and then actually moved up here to the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. And lo and behold, I actually got a call from I can remember it like it was yesterday, from my VP of sales, and I was en route actually to our corporate office to get my day started, and she called me up and said, you know what, you don't even have to come in today because today is going to be your last day. We've actually eliminated your position across the company. And I tell you, that was one of those heart-in-your-throat moments where you're like, okay, am I being pranked right now? Because I just could not believe that, after all that time with the company and obviously, just like anyone who is looking to be with the company long term, I had really moved up through the company pretty quickly, and I was very proud of my endeavors. But yeah, it was absolutely the truth, and obviously I was very shocked. Had to kind of pull myself together because at that time I had no backup plan. There was no Completely Yours event in my mind. So I went home and told my husband. And, he actually looked at me and said, well, this is a blessing in disguise. And, I'm looking at him like, okay, did you just hear what I said? Like, I'm telling you that everything just fell apart and you're telling me it's a blessing. Like, okay, we're not on the same page here. But he knew that I had been wanting to, kind of branch out and do my own events and run my own company. We had several discussions. Of course, a lot of times it was just pillow talk for me. I never really thought that was actually something that I would be ready to do so soon. But, like they say, one door closes and another opens, and here we are. So I did, branch out and decided to start Completely Yours events based on the premises that, I wanted the events to have a focal point, and the focal point being our customers. Our customers needs to be at the center of everything that we do, because it's their vision, and we are there to, be of service to them and make sure that that vision comes to life, that it really is at the forefront of that entire experience. And so that's where the name Completely Yours Events came from, and that's how we got our start. I started off with it being just me and my husband, so I was kind of handling the sales and marketing aspect of it, since that's my background, and he was handling the operations side. And we just, said, hey, we're gonna do this. And, we went out and started the business, started marketing very heavily, networking very heavily, and things took off quite fast. And, to our surprise, by the end of that we started in 2011. 2011, and by the end of 2012, we had actually done over 70 events. So,
wow.
We were really excited at, how things were moving forward and how things had so quickly progressed, which just affirmed that that's absolutely what we needed to be doing, and it was definitely the right direction. So, it's about that, sometimes they say you have to listen to, listen to where you're being called and where you're being led, and I think it's absolutely true.
And that's right. When you say that you were working for someone, doing this and loving what you were doing, and then they had to close the door, they had to downsize, they had to do what they had to do. That happens in corporate a lot. As small business owners, sometimes we sacrifice to keep our employees. We, try to cut here and there to continue to make a way for someone. But you just said it. When you have to have a game plan, and you didn't realize that you had a game plan, but your husband did, and I'm glad that he even, was as calm, because that's what it just takes. It takes that one person to be calm and realize, no, there's bigger and better things for you. Don't worry, we're going to make this happen. And like you said, and look what came from just a small vision that you had. And in 1 year to say that you have successfully done 70 events, that's an amazing feat. I know there's a lot of companies out there that do event planning that in 1 year may only do one event a month. So
right.
So I'm
right. I mean,
glad
it really
to hear
was
that growth. Awesome. So with Completely Yours events, you are one of the go-to women that I know in the DMV area. I know you don't just work in the DMV area, but I know just in that DMV area, you are rocking it out there. Those women love you and the men love you, and not only have you done events, but the weddings, I've heard so many just pleasurable things about what you're doing. Where's the growth in your business? Because now, as you stated, it was you and your husband. So where is now the growth in your business for your industry?
Yeah, Latisha, that's a great question, because you come to, just like with anything, you come to a mark in the road where you kind of have to decide, where is the company heading? Because, as you continue to grow, then obviously there's more of a demand. And not only did we have all of that growth in terms of the number of events that we did, but we also were doing events in different areas. Like you mentioned, I can remember, we ended up traveling to Florida, Indianapolis, Atlanta, Georgia, and we even had our first international event in Jamaica. It was a 10-year anniversary. But with that, it's like, how do you keep up with the pace? Because we absolutely loved the growth that we were experiencing, but we had to figure out how to maintain the quality of our service, but still be able to incur the growth, because that sometimes is where businesses start to fall apart. Even if they do well and are successful in those first few years, when the growth comes, then they're not able always to sustain the growth. And so we absolutely didn't want that to hinder the business. So there are a couple of things that, number one, we actually decided to implement an internship program. And our internship program has gotten quite the buzz, which we didn't expect. So it's very funny to me because, when I thought about, hey, we should do an internship program, I really at the time was just thinking about my years back in college where I, figured out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. And I thought, how did I figure that out? Well, it was through me doing internships. I did like maybe 4 or 5 internships throughout my entire college career, but they really helped mold me and helped me to understand what I enjoyed doing and what I did not enjoy doing. And, and you're able to do that in a learning environment where you're not committed to it. You can still walk away and say, hey, that wasn't for me, so I don't think that's the direction I want to go. And so I can remember that experience for myself, and I said, that's something that we really should make available to other college students within our industry, within the event industry, because it's an industry where unless you get a chance to really be hands-on with it, then you almost don't really have a clue what to expect. It's not what I call a textbook industry. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you can't really read a book and then go out and say, okay, now I know the world of event planning. Like that's not really, you're not really able to do that. You really have to get in there and dive in, with both hands and get in there and see what you're capable of. And so I wanted to provide that hands-on experience for college students. And so we developed the internship program, which we do year-round, and it's a way for interns who are already interested in this field as their career. Maybe they're majoring in hospitality or event management or public relations, marketing, any of those fields. And so therefore we bring them on for a semester where they are able to work hands-on with our clients and really truly get the experience, the firsthand experience that they need to understand what event planning is all about. So that has been something that we've been doing now for the past 3 years, and it just, it continues to be, like I said, such a great program that I've had other entrepreneurs come to me and ask me, would you mind coaching me on how to build my team? Because, as entrepreneurs, we come to that crossroads where we're like, hey, I can't do all of this myself, or I'm going to kill myself, or I'm going to get burnt out. So I got to figure out another way. And so that's where some of our growth has come from. The other part of that is we are in the process of getting ready to launch ourselves as a agency. So through going back to the internship, through the internship program, I have had 3 young ladies who I have had the pleasure of mentoring and really kind of making sure that they have developed into full-fledged event planners themselves. They have learned the business side of things. They have gone through the training program that we have within our internship program. They also have gone through our Event Pages course, which is an event planning course that we offer. So they've gone through that course as well. And so now they are independent event planners who can now take on their own clientele and have their own team. So literally our company is now shifting because now it's not just about me and my husband. We are no longer the faces of Completely Yours events. But we're ready to launch and really show these 3 new faces courses of Completely Yours events, which I'm so excited about.
Wow. Now, I just want to take you back a little bit because you mentioned something that was so important, and this is something that, shows that you are the expert in your industry. You offer courses, you offer training. Can you break it down a little bit that if I decided that I wanted to take one of your courses, what would I learn? What is it that I'm going to get out of completing that?
Absolutely. Well, so I wanted to make sure that the course that we offer, again, the name of the course is Eventageous, the business side of event planning. One thing that I noticed about our industry is that event planners, event coordinators, event management companies, we are very, very, very creative people. A lot of times what draws us to the industry, Latisha, is the fact that we have this creative side beyond measures. We know how to go out there and create the atmosphere, create the experience. But what then becomes a challenge or a struggle sometimes for us event planners is how to then put the business side of things together. How do I then market my company? How do I then network with individuals who I need to build relationships with in order to continue to grow my business? How do I price myself correctly so that I can get my fair share of the market and I don't end up, depreciating the value of my services, of what I'm offering? How do I keep an account of my expenses so that at the end of the year, I am not in the negative, but I can see that I'm actually growing my business from a financial standpoint. So those are the things that a lot of times as creative individuals, we get so lost in. But, I had the fortunate blessing of coming into this industry from a different viewpoint. I was able to come in from, as I mentioned, a corporate background. And I also went to school for marketing and business. So I already kind of understood that side of things. And so that part came easy for me. Thank goodness. So I wanted to make sure that I incorporated that in the course, in the Eventageous course for other event planners, because I think that those things are the things that help us to thrive. Those are the things that help you to be able to have a sustaining business. I can remember an event planner, she signed up for our course, and she asked me, one of her first questions was, so be honest, do you really think that you can be an event coordinator or an event planner full time without having another job? And, I was kind of speechless when she asked me that because, in my mind, I'm like, absolutely. Why would you not be able to? But in the same breath, I understood why she was asking that because I think sometimes the connotation is that you can't do that you have to be working another job in addition to being an event planner or in addition to being an event coordinator, that it's not a full-time, sustainable career path. And so those are the things that I want other coordinators and other planners to walk away with, knowing that if you learn all of these things and you make sure that all of these things are a part of your business, you can do this absolutely 100% full-time, and this can be a sustainable career path for you.
And you know what? That's just awesome. And I'm glad that you are offering this type of mentorship and, study course so that they can get the knowledge they need to be successful. It's not just about booking you and you're going to teach them and send them on their way. You are making sure that you arm them with what they're going to need to be successful, and that's just amazing, amazing. I'm loving Completely Yours more and more, I have to tell you. Now, just going back to, you said that, you have new ladies that are going to be able to build their own team, start booking their own events. Tell us more about this new trend and this new business model that Completely Yours is going to be going to as an agency.
Yes, yes. Well, like I said, I am just tickled pink about this. We are getting ready to kind of unveil, is what we're calling it, the unveiling next week. And, basically what people can expect is that we will be introducing them to these three young ladies. So Randy Cabot, Christina Grimes, and Lindsay Dillard. And as I mentioned, they all three started up under our internship program, where they were, really learning the business, learning and understanding how to be hands-on and making sure that they could apply everything that they learned. They also went through, like I mentioned, the Eventageous course, the business side of event planning. And again, really making sure that they were soaking up everything and understanding what it truly means to lead your own ship, be that event planner, and understand how to drive a team as well. Because it's one thing when you know that you know how to do something, but, it's a testament when you know that you can actually show someone else how to do something as well. So, they were tasked with also managing their own team and, making sure that they understood how to give direction and how to lead their own team. So these ladies, they are in different parts of the area, which allow them to obviously be able to serve more clients. Christina is located in the Baltimore area. Randy is located in the Arlington area, and Arlington, Virginia, and then Lindsay is located in the Fairfax, Virginia area. So it allows them to be able to really tap into each of their own surrounding areas and surrounding markets. But these ladies are all, very unique and individual in and of themselves. I love them dearly because obviously I've really seen them grow over the last several years. But they are, when I say they are absolutely fantastic at what they do. They truly have a niche for what they're doing. Christina is a very creative young lady, so she is actually also the head of our design department, where she will come in and work with you on how to actually design your event, in addition to coordinating it. So if you're looking for someone who can, take your vision and really bring it to life in terms of the decor and decorating, then she's your girl. Lindsay is 100% what I call the organizer. She can, organize everything to a T. She brings everybody together and makes sure that everyone is on the same page, and she does it flawlessly. So, that is definitely her area of expertise in making sure that her clients stay on track. She, really makes sure that they hold to certain deadlines and things like that, and I love it, And then Randy, she is just a ball of sunshine. She absolutely has a heart for this. She has a heart for service. She loves to serve her clients and make sure that, everything that they need is taken care of. She's a very compassionate young lady. But, with that, you have to be in this industry because, again, you are here to serve. You're here to, what I call be a servant leader. And that's where her heart is. So she completely wants to make sure that her clients are, at the focus point of everything that she does and make sure that, their event reflects them, that they're having a good time, that they can sit back and just enjoy themselves while she helps them to put everything together. So I'm excited that we have the opportunity now to, push these three ladies to the forefront and, basically show everyone that they are now Completely Yours events. And, it's not just, you can call Completely Yours events and Janelle might be there to answer the phone and answer your email and, and everything else. But now you have, even more resources to tap into with all three of these young ladies.
And you know what? That's amazing. And just congratulations to what you have platformed for Completely Yours. You've taken a vision now and you're making it a real corporation by making it an agency. You're empowering these young women to be able to continue to do what they're doing and to grow, and also continuing to grow your brand by doing it. You know, just visiting your website, I just want to also say congratulations as well, because I see that you've won a couple of different awards. So that's definitely amazing for Completely Yours events. I see that you've won wedding wear for couples from the Couples Choice Awards in 2014.
Yes.
And you've also won the Wedding Industry Experts in 2012. So just amazing stuff right there.
Thank you so much, Latisha. Yes, we are, very, very humble whenever we have the opportunity to be up for an award or, be nominated for an award. Then it's always, I'm always very humbled by that, because it just goes, basically goes to show that, somebody out there thinks that we are an expert at what we do. And, while, yes, we strive to do everything, to excel at everything that we're doing within the industry, sometimes, obviously, just like anything else, it can be one of those situations where you're not really looking for people to say thank you, but, you obviously are always very happy when they do, and it just makes you feel good because you love what you do. And so, those awards definitely, we're very proud of them. We actually are nominated currently for the Best of Northern Virginia for 2014 as a wedding planning company. So go out there and vote for us, please, because that's open until the 28th of March, is I believe when the polls will close, and that's through Northern Virginia Magazine.
Awesome stuff. I got to tell you, another thing that I think that is just amazing that you do, and I'm not sure if it's you who does it, but we're going to just say you do at this point, is that you blog and you give people tips and hints on what they can do to be successful for their event, what they can do to de-stress, just different things that come around the whole thing of the event itself, not just weddings, but any type of event. You give great tips in your blog, and, you make it available so that, they're not just getting the advice from you, but they can even take something away if they want to try to do something themselves.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, I have to give credit where credit is due. So that credit definitely goes to my ladies, my coordinators, because they, they do have a mind for also wanting people to understand the industry, which I think is fabulous, because there are a lot of misconceptions about the event planning world. I know all too often people think it's a very glamorous world, and that, you get to go here and you get to go there, and, you get to, be at the forefront of this event and the forefront of this wedding. And, and while, yes, those things are very nice, it's a very rewarding industry, but it also requires a lot of hard work, and diligence. And so, they always, being very transparent, all three of them, they want people to understand, what is what I would say more of the glamour-less side of event planning and what that entails. So, they do come up with great topics as far as the blog is concerned, and they're topics that, I think a lot of times people are thinking, like, what do I do if someone, doesn't RSVP appropriately, or if someone shows up unexpectedly, or, what do I do when people, aren't dressed appropriately, or if somebody double books my venue. I mean, there are all type of things that come up that can be frustrating scenarios, frustrating situations to be in. But we like to, put those things out there so that people can understand, this is how you would normally handle that situation, or here's how we would recommend handling something like that, because we've seen all situations from A to Z, obviously. So we want to, kind of share some of that, some of those experiences.
Amazing. Now, there is one other thing that I wanted to have you bring up and talk about a little bit. On the website, and this is so interesting, and I'm going to have to talk to you sidebar on this, you have Gift a Wedding. How amazing is that someone can come in here and fill out a form to possibly win a wedding decoration, from Completely Yours? I think that's just amazing. How does this work?
So, I'm glad you asked about that. And this is actually a program that we are launching this year as well. So, I always want to, I always want to make sure that I give back to, the industry that is given to me. And everyone can't always, let me back up. Sometimes I think the notion, again, the misconception is that you have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to have a wonderful, beautiful, gorgeous event or wedding, for that matter. And, one of the things that I think that me and my team have become really great at doing is understanding how you can still have an affordable wedding, but it still be simple in nature, still be elegant, beyond measure, but not have to break the bank, so to speak, in order to get that done. And, one of the things that we realized very quickly is that there are couples out here who, for whatever reasons, whatever circumstances they have come up against, or whatever situations they might be faced with, they aren't able to afford to have even the most simplest of weddings. And, that's unfortunate. And we know that many women, across the board, they probably think about, one day what their wedding will be like. Some people think about it when they are still a little girl, a small child, but you always think about what that day will be like. And to not be able to have that day can sometimes be very disheartening. And so we developed this service or this program for couples who may be in a position where they're not able to have that, and we want to gift a wedding to them. So the premises of the program is that ourselves, in addition to some of the other industry experts, a caterer that is in the industry, a photographer that is in the industry, a florist that is in the industry, will come on board to provide a wedding to this couple that has been chosen. And even though we have not quite kicked off the program yet, because we're going to kick it off in the fall of this year, we've already started to receive some entries that have been submitted. And I can just tell you, my heart goes out to some of these couples, because one couple that submitted an entry to us, I was in tears. I mean, to not go into too great a detail, this couple had been in a car accident. The mother was, or the wife was, the fiance, they aren't married yet. The fiance was actually pregnant at the time. They had to rush her to the hospital. She was in a coma. She actually lost her child. And she spent nearly 6 months in the hospital, having to go through reconstructive surgery as well as rehab to then learn how to walk again. In the midst of this, her fiance found out that he had been diagnosed with some rare form of cancer. So then now he was faced with having to go through a series of rehabbing himself, to get himself, hopefully free of the cancer. So they have been coming through literally a storm, and in the midst of this, they have, always been hoping that they would get to some sort of solid foundation, so that they could then have a wedding. And it's stories like these that, like I said, my heart just goes out, because everyone should have an opportunity to have their special day. And so that is the premises of this program that we've developed called Gift a Wedding, because we just want to, if we can make that happen for, one couple a year, then, I feel like it hasn't gone in vain, that we've helped to make a difference in some shape, fashion, or form.
Awesome. And I'm just so proud to hear that that's something that you're doing, and we at the network definitely want to be able to support when you kick that off. We know some local vendors here that would definitely be willing to contribute because we have a talk show that's coming out, and we were gifting a wedding during that talk show, and we were getting vendors together as well.
Awesome.
So, just let us know when you get to that point, and, we can definitely, if it's going to be in the VA area, we can definitely assist with that here as well. So, awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Latisha.
Oh, not a problem. Now, Jon'll, just if you want, I want you to leave, as I stated, we are celebrating Women's History Month. So it's not just about the past, but it's about the present as well as going into the future. You're definitely one of the entrepreneurs that have been paving a way not just for yourself and your family, but for other women to be able to be successful and succeed. If you could leave a positive note or a word of encouragement, what would you say to the women entrepreneurs of today?
I think what I would share with them is, know that you can achieve the impossible. You can achieve the possible, but you can certainly achieve the impossible. And know that women these days, I marvel in how amazing women are. I mean, we stand on the shoulders of other women who have been strong, who have carried us through, through all types of things. I mean, from, our rights to different industries, being the leaders in different industries. But these days, women are spectacular because we wear so many different hats, from being, a mompreneur to running your business to taking care of the home to, being that loving wife, to, being the rock of, just of the entire family, that I'm amazed by what we do. And so, I just say to any woman out there who, is following their dreams or, looking to start their business or in the midst of their business, I would just say to you this: don't stop and don't quit. Finish the race, finish it, because whatever you started it for a reason. So don't let anything detour you. Know that if you keep going and you don't stop, then you have to make progress. There's no way that you cannot make progress when you are moving forward. But if you stop or you quit, then you can't make progress, and that's where things finish. So just keep moving forward, don't stop, never quit, and finish it.
Awesome.
Thank
stuff.
you
Love
so
it.
much, Latisha.
Oh, absolutely, Jon'll. And thank you so much, Jon'll Boyd, for being on the show today and letting us know a little bit more about Completely Yours. And as I stated earlier, if you want to know more about Completely Yours, get in touch with Jon'll and her team. Please visit CompletelyYoursEvents.com. So that's Completely Yours with an S, events with an S.com. And you're on all the social media. I mean, there's almost nothing I didn't see.
Yes,
so I know that you're on YouTube, Twitter as Completely Y.
Yes.
Pinterest as Completely Yours, Facebook as Completely Yours Events. And you even have your own LinkedIn there as well, so you can connect directly with Jon'll Boyd.
That's correct.
Awesome. Well, Jon'll, it's definitely been a pleasure having you on the show today. We wish you continued success and growth. We know that you are having a premiere coming soon, so we're looking forward to the unveiling of the new side of the company.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you so much for having me, Latisha. Everyone, please please check us out, as Latisha said, on our website. Our new website and new unveiling will kick off next Monday. So please join us for that. We'd love for you to be there. And, we will be also having several vendors who will come and offer some some really exciting promotional offers and special deals. So please join us starting Monday, March 24th, and it'll start on Monday, March 24th, and end on Friday, March 28th. So we look forward to sharing in this exciting moment with you all.
Awesome. And if you connect with Completely Yours on Facebook, you'll definitely be able to be a part of that week-long unveiling every day, like you said, with vendors being able to offer special deals just because you came and premiered it every day with them. So that's going to be amazing. That's a great campaign, and I can't wait for it to start on Monday.
Thank you so much, Latisha.
Absolutely. So we are going to continue the show. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we got some more women for you, some more history to help complete this March Women's History Month. So thank you so much for staying tuned with May We Help You Radio. I'm your host, Latisha McDougall. We'll be back in just a moment.